Okay, so guys, today we're gonna discuss about the Sling scheduler. So what does it mean by the Sling scheduler and why we are using it? So simple, Sling scheduler is nothing but the service. What does it mean by the service now? So your Sling scheduler is created as a service. So your Sling scheduler is created inside the service, or you can also say your whenever you are implementing your Sling scheduler, or you are trying to create your scheduler, so you have to create inside the OSGI service only. Okay, and why we are using it? So just consider this is your task, like here is a date. Okay, and in particular date you want to execute. So in this date, like consider here we have a 12. In this 12 date I just want to execute this task. This is the task, I just want to execute it. So how we can do that things, how we can schedule these things? So by using a scheduler we can easily do that things. Okay, no? And another things, if you want to execute, or you want to execute or run particular task at a particular time or the date or the now you want to execute, then you can just simply use scheduler. Okay, we have a two ways for creating a scheduler: by using a whiteboard pattern or by using a scheduler API. So in a whiteboard pattern we use a runnable. Here we have a runnable interface. By using, we create the whiteboard pattern, and after that here we have a scheduler API. So they have provided some classes and some interfaces for scheduling the or creating the scheduler API by using the scheduler API. Okay, so today we'll see like how we can schedule our interface, that means how we can schedule our job. So simply they have provided one interface. This is out of the box, OOTB, that means it's out of the box. We can schedule our job or the object or task by using this scheduler. Okay, so where it is present? It is present inside this package, that is org apache sling.commons.scheduler. Okay, and why we use this scheduler? For scheduling the time and cron based job. Okay, what does it mean by the cron? Okay, so you can, by using the expression language, you can also define, that means based on some expression you can easily define your job. That means you can easily schedule and execute your job based on the cron base. Okay, so job is nothing but the object, and that is executed or the fire by this scheduler, Okay, and here we have a two ways for creating the scheduler. You can easily implement the job interface or the runnable. So today we'll see this runnable interface. Okay, so let's, and here we have a lots of methods inside this scheduler, that is out of the box. Here we have a lots of the method, just like the add method. So why we use this add method? So if you want to fire the job, okay, once at a specific date, then you can go with this add. That means, like consider someone's birthday is there and you want to execute. Okay, you want to execute that, but you want to send some message on his birthday. So how we can do that thing? So based on the date we can set no, based on the date we can schedule. Okay, schedule the job. So this is nothing but the job. Consider here in this 25 June that guy have a birthday. So you can just simply, this is nothing but our object, and this object we want to execute it. So this is nothing but the date, so we have to use the at method. Here we have a at method, we can simply use here, and we can simply schedule our job in this 25. Otherwise in this 25 you want to maybe he has born maybe in 12:30, so you can also schedule the time as well. Okay, date, after that time, and after that you can also schedule the seconds. So this is the add method. Okay, so what it is saying, like create a schedule options to fire a job starting at a specific date. Okay, so this is the thing. After that here we have expressions. Okay, so if you have a cron based jobs, like how we can generate the cron based jobs? So here we have one things, you can just simply go on the internet and you can generate the cron base. Okay, so here what I'm doing, I'm just generating cron makers. Okay, so here based on, like if you want to execute the scheduler after 1 minute, then here we have to select 1 minute and simply generate it. So once you generate, see, this is nothing but our cron. Okay, this is nothing but our cron base. So if you want to execute the job based on this cron, then you can just simply copy this, go there and just paste inside this expression. Okay, so based on the expression, if you want to set some job, then you can just simply use this expression. Okay, after that, here we have a now. If you want to execute your job or scheduler right now, then you can simply use this now method, and it will execute only once. When your scheduler is a schedule and you have called this method, then it will immediately execute. After that, these are two methods. So why we use this schedule and the unschedule? If here inside this method we are only defining, but in real case if you want to execute, then you have to go with this schedule method, and this schedule method has two parameters. That means what you want to execute and when you want to execute. So first of all, we have to define the object, our task or the job you can say, and after that at what time you want to execute. So these things you have to define here. Okay, one thing is common. Have you noticed, like here everywhere what we have a schedule options. So every scheduler method, that means scheduler method is returning the object of the schedule options. Yeah, so this is the option we have to write inside our schedule method. Why we use these schedule options? Okay, so here we have so first of all, it has present inside this package, and it provides the extra functionality to your scheduler. Okay, this schedule option, okay, it provides the extra functionality to your scheduler. Okay, just like consider inside this scheduler we don't have a name method. Like if you want to set the name of the scheduler, we don't have this functionality. So how we can do that thing? So we have to take the help from this scheduler options. So this scheduler options have the method just like config, name and the can run concurrently. Config, that means if you want to add some extra information just like a URL, okay, name of the websites or the vendor, okay, so you can just simply use this config. After that, name, you want to set the name of the scheduler, you can simply set with this name. Okay, and this can run concurrent. So if you want to execute your scheduler concurrently or the simultaneously, you can go with this can run concurrently. After that, here we have a unscheduled. This is nothing but our unscheduled method. So what this method exactly do? So it will unschedule your jobs. So whatever the job it has scheduled and you want to unschedule it, you can go with this unscheduled method. But this method is using the name of the scheduler, but this method won't provide the scheduler. So we have to go with this scheduler options. Okay, so now we'll go and just try to create it. So you guys already knows that like we use the OSGI configurations. Okay, this is the OSGI configurations I have. Okay, and here I have already created the OSGI configurations. Just like here, what I want to pass this OSGI configuration, why we just use for passing the information. Okay, so information we already defined here. See, so I have defined the service name, I have defined this cron base. Okay, it will execute after 1 minute. Okay, when I deploy, so it will execute after 1 minute. Okay, so after that, here I have a scheduler enable. Okay, so here also I have a scheduler enable, and after that here I have a concurrent, scheduler concurrent. So our scheduler is run concurrent, so it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So I will accept as a boolean here. Okay, done. Now this is, we don't want this, so we will not keep this. Okay, so from here we pass the information to our scheduler. Okay, so we have to fetch it. So for that, now here I gonna write the scheduler. So how we can do that things? We know that scheduler we write inside the OSGI service. So for that we have to use the @ component. Done. Now this is normal class. Now I just want to convert this normal class into an scheduler. So for that we have to implement the runnable interface, otherwise job. So this case I'm just implementing runnable interface. Runnable. Okay, so I just implementing a runnable interface. Okay, so here when you are implementing a runnable interface, it has one method that is run, and here we have to write our logic. So whatever the logic you want to execute when your scheduler is scheduled, so this logic will write inside this. Okay, now I just want to execute this logic. So how we can execute it? But before that, I'm just writing one logic here. Okay, so if my scheduler is scheduled, that time I just want to print this logic. So I'm just writing something just like a log dot error. I'm just writing, and I'm just saying run method. Otherwise we can just simply say no, this practice schedule task has executed successfully. Okay, but it is showing an error. Why? Because this log we haven't created. But if I'm just writing this, so where it will print? Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm just debugging, I'm just checking this functionality is working or not. Okay, so for that we have to use one logger factory. So what this logger factory exactly does, so it will, whatever the information you are writing here, okay, so it will print inside your AEM. Here we have options of the AEM. See, this one is your AEM author. I have CRX quick start, and here we have a log, and inside this log we have one we have one file that is error.log. So whatever I am writing, so this all the things will print inside this. Okay, but how exactly from this class it will directly go inside this? So for that they have provided the classes, we just simply have to use it. So I'm just defining this variable, that is log, public static final logger. This is logger. Here I have defined this log, and after that you can just simply use logger factory dot get logger, and this is the class we have to write inside this dot class. Okay, so I have simply write this. That means what is doing now, because of this logger factory and the get logger and this logger, so all whatever you are writing, this information it is coming here. We don't need to be worried about it, it directly creates. So this is the package we have to use. Okay, done. Now it's done. Now I'm just this is the logic, I just want to execute it. Where? I just want to execute here. Okay, so for that we need a scheduler. Okay, so this scheduler we already knows that. Okay, so this is the out of the box functionality, it has provided by the AEM. So if you want this out of the box functionality in your current class, for that we have to use this @reference. Okay, and scheduler it has present inside this package. Finished, done. Now I just want to write one logic, that is we will define the scheduler, how scheduler will execute, and after that will execute. But where we will do these things, so we'll simply create one method, that is add scheduler. Okay, and the best thing is what I want, I just see we already have the scheduler name, we already have the cron expression where we have defined here. So we have to call this. Okay, we have to call this method to our this class. Okay, so for that we have to call it to this simple scheduler configuration. So how we can call? For that we'll just simply use this designate we have, and what is the name? Simple scheduler configuration dot class. Done. Okay, we got it. We have to import this, and after that once you have implement this, okay, this what is this this runnable interface, then we have to write inside this, that is service is equals to runnable interface. Got it. Okay, why it is showing the errors? Okay, so here we forget, we have to use the object class definition. Okay, why, where we are calling, to whom we are calling this object class definition. So this is the thing we have to write it. So simple scheduler configuration dot class. Now it is okay. Okay, so we got it. Now we have to write the logic here. So how we can write? So but inside this add method, now I gonna call this simple scheduler configurations method. So that's why I'm just creating the object of this simple scheduler configuration. Dot config. We got it. Now okay, this thing is done. Now what I just want to get, before that we'll just do one thing, we'll just check it as printing something or not. So we'll just write here scheduler added successfully. Okay, now we'll just start execution of. So first of all, we'll just simply check if this config we already have, if this config is enable scheduler. See, inside this, that means in this simple scheduler configuration, here we have one method, that is which one? That is enable scheduler. Okay, and this enable scheduler is true, then we will define our scheduler. Okay, so come here and just simply define it. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm just scheduling based on the expressions. Okay, based on the cron expression, I'm just simply scheduling, and where we have defining this cron expression here. Okay, so we have to call this method. Okay, we will call it, but how we can schedule exactly? Okay, so by using this expression method we have, see where here we have this expression method. So and where is this expression method present? Inside your scheduler. Okay, so we have to call the scheduler, and this scheduler we already have, this one scheduler dot expression. Okay, and we already have the expression where it is present inside our config. So config dot scheduler expression, done, we have set. But notice that this expression will return the object of the schedule options. So we have to assign to a schedule options this data. So I'm just creating options here. Okay, we got it. Now I'll just want to, whatever I have created, no, that is based on the expression I have created the scheduler. Now I just want to give the name to that particular scheduler. So how we can give? So you can just simply use options dot name. Okay, how? Because inside this schedule options we have, inside this schedule options we have a lot of methods. So there we have one method, that is name. Okay, so you can just simply save it, you can just set it, but we have to take this name of the scheduler. So that name of the scheduler, it has already present here, where first, see here, scheduler name, this is our scheduler name, and this is the name we have set it. Yeah, so you can just simply come inside config dot name, scheduler name. That's nice. Okay, after that we'll see if you want to run this one concurrently. So there we have one method can run concurrently, and the same this can run concurrently method data will come from this config. So we have to take it, and inside this method our data is present. Okay, we got it. This, yeah, everything is done. Now we want to schedule it. At the last we have to do one thing, we have to schedule. See, these things, that means we have only defined, but when you want to schedule exactly, okay, so here we got this expression, after 1 minute we have to execute our object, that means this one, this task we have to execute, but it won't execute till you haven't scheduled it. So how we can schedule? By using this scheduler method. So here we have one method, that is schedule. Okay, so which you want to execute? I just want to execute this task. Okay, and here we have only one task here, so you can just simply write this keyword here. Okay, this means it will automatically pick up this run method. Okay, and here we have options. So inside this option we have defined this expression, we have given the name, and we want to run the simultaneously and concurrently. So all this data where it is present inside these options, so this is the option we are executing. Okay, you can also add some logic, like it has added successfully, scheduler added successfully. Okay, and name I'm just writing here is equals to and single quotes, this is dynamic, and after that I'm just formatting. Okay, no, so here I'm just passing one value, that is scheduler name. So you can pass the scheduler name here, this is the name we are passing it. Okay, so we have written everything. So if your scheduler is not enabled, then we have to write the else condition. Inside this else we'll just simply print the message like our this class is a disabled, that means our simple which one scheduler is disabled, we'll write that now, scheduler is disabled. Done. Yeah, this is the logic we have written it now. But whenever, see here we will not create the object of anything, so how we can call this method? We are not able to call this method directly. So for that what we have to use, we have to use the activate method. Okay, so we are not able to call this method, so we have this activate method will automatically call when you deploy. Okay, and when your bundle is active, that time this activate method is also called. So we have to use this activate method, and you can just define anything, public void, I'm just writing here activate, or you can just define anything whatever you want. So here I have defined the start method, and inside this start method I'll just simply call this add scheduler. Okay, but this add scheduler method except one parameter, that is config. Okay, so we have to create it, simple scheduler configuration. Here I'm just defining config, and this is the config we have to pass here. Okay, so this is the thing, no, and here we'll say like, okay, import it first. Yeah, we have imported successfully. Now we will say, otherwise here every time I'm just using here error.log, error.log. You can just simply write like no error.info, that means we are passing the information, no, so we have to write error.info. Okay, so which one is our practice scheduled task method executed successfully. Okay, here I have written, that means when I deploy, this method will call and this logic will execute. Okay, but what's about deactivate? If I want to deactivate, then so for that we can also create simple method like protected void and remove scheduler. Same way we can just simply pass here scheduler simple scheduler configuration, no, simple scheduler configuration, and here I'm just writing config. Okay, done. Now here we can simply unschedule it. So we know that inside this scheduler we have unschedule method, and here we have to define the name. Okay, but we don't have a name. So how we can get the name? So simply here we have a config, and by using this config, here we have a schedule dot name. Okay, so inside this config we have one method, and there they have written the name of this scheduler. So we can easily unschedule it. Okay, so we got it, but this method won't call. So for calling this method, what we will do, simply you have to use deactivate. Sorry guys. Okay, so we have to use the deactivate. you can simply use deactivate. Here we have to use protected void, and simply remove scheduler. I am just using remove scheduler, and here I am just passing scheduler configuration config. You can just simply, and inside that we have to pass the remove scheduler. Oh sorry, the same thing I have defined here. Instead of that I am just writing here deactivate. Okay, otherwise you can write end, no issue. Remove scheduler, and here we have to pass this config. Simple scheduler we have to write here, simple scheduler configuration. Yeah, now everything has done. Okay, that means here I have defined one method, and here I have unscheduled it, and this method if you want to call automatically, then we have to use this remove scheduler. Okay, this is the thing done. Now we have to simply call it, we have to deploy it. So we'll deploy now. Ambient clean install. Hit enter. Okay, project has deployed successfully. Now we just have to go there and we have to check it. So where we have to go, inside our AEM author, and here we have a quick start logs, and here we have a error.log. So you can just simply search here what things we have printed there. So it has present inside our okay, this is the thing we have to search it, like it has executed successfully or not. Otherwise you can search this. Okay, so I'm just simply taking this one from here, Control F, and you can just simply search it. Hit enter. Okay, just simply okay, so search here, hit enter. Now here you see, yeah, here you see this practical scheduler test has executed successfully. So this is the message we have printed there. So our that means our scheduler has executed successfully.